Hi guys, it's Sheena from Teton Raptor Center and I'm here to give you all this week's patient update. Unfortunately, we're treating so many birds in our rehab clinic right now that we just don't have the time to cover every single bird, but we are going to highlight our interesting cases and some of our new patients. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm kicking things off this week by highlighting two of our recent releases. Here goes Osprey 818 back out into the wild in Alpine, Wyoming. This bird initially came in because he was found in the rain soaking wet, but after he was released nice and dry, he was reunited with his family. The other bird is also an osprey that got released. This is 821, and this bird came from Teutonia, Idaho. Similar situation, just a healthy fledgling that was on the ground and had to be reunited with his family, so here he is back up on his nest platform. Moving on to our current patients, here we have Swainsons Hawk 822. This bird came in from Casper, Wyoming after he was hit by a car. He luckily has no broken bones, but is dealing with some soft tissue damage on the right side of his body, and he's got some road rash on both of his feet, and his right knee is kind of banged up. This picture was taken right after he came in, so that's probably why he's not standing, and he's kind of tucked into that little towel right there. Next up for the birds we're covering this week is Swainsons Hawk 818. This bird came in with a broken ulna in his right wing, as well as some eye trauma to his left eye. He's recovering pretty nicely and didn't need surgery. Luckily, this kind of fracture was right on the midsection of the bone, also called a midline fracture, and because it wasn't terribly displaced, he didn't need surgery, but he is, however, in a wing wrap, so that wing right now is currently immobilized from being able to stretch out and open. We are changing that wrap every 3 days, and every time we change the wrap, we do physical therapy as well as offer cold laser therapy. Next up, we've got Great Horned Owl 813. This bird came from Idaho Falls with a fractured humerus in his left wing, as well as some soft tissue damage on that wing. He underwent surgery to have an orthopedic pin placed in there so that it can allow the bone to heal in alignment, and he's doing really well so far. He's still in the ICU, but he is eating on his own, which makes things really nice because then we don't have to force feed him, and it means that we can put all of his pain medication and other medication into his food and hide it in there, and then he'll eat it without having to undergo any stressful medication events. Next up is Longeared Owl 81. This bird came in with a fractured radius and ulna in the left wing that we actually did surgery on. So right now he's got a pin coming out of his left wing, and that's going to remain in there until 5 weeks. And then at the 5-week mark, we're actually going to remove the pin once the bone has healed in alignment, and he'll undergo more PT. He's currently in PT now, and then he'll begin flight conditioning. Next up is Northern Harrier 730 from Evanston, Wyoming. This bird came in with severe head and eye trauma. She still is dealing with some head trauma, and we can see that just because she's exhibiting neurological symptoms. She is, however, eating on her own, so that's a really good sign. She's not in the ICU anymore, but we're still not out of the woods yet with this one. Some people have wondered what is on her tail. That is actually just cardboard packaging tape. It's safe to use on feathers, and basically it's called a tail guard. It just keeps her feathers nice and fresh while she's in care, and that just allows her to have an easier release when the time comes because her long tail feathers will be in good condition. Last but not least, for the birds we're covering in this week's update is Great Horned Owl 77. This bird came from LaBarge, Wyoming back in July, early part of July, with a broken wing, and is actually going to be getting released today. So we had to grab him up out of the flight barn to get him into a box on his journey for transport back to LaBarge for release. All right, that's all we've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about our birds. Remember that if you want to do your part to help keep wild birds wild, you can check out our website at tetonraptorcenter.org and make a donation. Bye!